I wasn't sure whether to make a video about Steven Spielberg's latest E.T. movie, Disclosure Day, which isn't released until next summer, but I thought, why not? This video can supplement the last video I made about the age of disclosure. Interestingly, it's purported that Spielberg's E.T. movie back in 1982 was inspired by real-life events. Namely, a UFO crashed near Roswell in 1949 and 6 aliens were found, but only one survived. This extraterrestrial biological entity, known as EB1, had the ability to read minds, transmit thoughts to others, and walk through walls, and it also had the propensity to lie. However, EB1 got sick, and medical professionals were unable to help. NASA tried to contact its relatives in outer space, but alas, to no avail. And EB1 died in 1952. Apparently NASA aimed to win favour from EB1's technologically superior alien race. Steven Spielberg has frequently expressed his belief in ET life. In a 2011 interview with the New York Post, he asserted, "I am sure we are not alone in the universe, and all my movies are based on the assumption that we are not." Spielberg also wrote and directed Close Encounters of the Third Kind back in 1977, which entails direct sightings or interactions with aliens. And he also directed War of the Worlds back in 2005. And Spielberg is in the Luciferian Club, which is highlighted on the official posters for his latest movie, which showcase the one eye. These Luciferian freaks love giving attention to one eye. In the third poster, the eye is upside down. Satanists love inversion and they worship numbers, and Spielberg has picked an interesting release date for the movie, featuring several sixes. This new Alien movie seems more spiritual and includes references to the Roman Catholic Church and demonic possession. Like the Age of Disclosure documentary, it starts by highlighting that we're not alone in the universe. This is the message that is being ingrained on our brains. And they posit, would you be frightened by this reality? Could you handle the truth, which in actual fact is a demonic deception? The emphasis is that people have a right to know the truth. I'll play the trailer and then we can discuss the message.
If you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you?
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Let's. Today is. Today's.
People have a right to know the truth. It belongs to 7 billion people.
What is it?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. So I'm gonna show you.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world. All at once.
People keep wondering. Encountering the unknown.
They're coming! They're coming!
They are starved for the truth.
Do you think there could be others?
Why would he make such a vast universe?
yet save it only for us.
The last line in the trailer seems like a cliche, when the nun exclaims, "Why would he, that is God, make such a vast universe, yet save it only for us?" Because this rhetoric has been propagated on the masses for decades. We've been indoctrinated to believe that our universe is insanely vast, and it's expanding, and we're a tiny, irrelevant dot, and it's ignorant to believe that we're the only life that's out there in the cosmos. This rhetoric is predicated on the lies of the Big Bang Theory, evolution, and heliocentric cosmology, and the Vatican endorses these beliefs. That is, the universe began with a magical Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago, which in turn created solar systems, and long story short, Earth appeared replete with sludge, and life spontaneously emerged from non-living chemicals, and after millions of years, humans arrived. Our unbelievably sophisticated DNA programmed itself and the insanely complex human brain. It's phenomenal, and it never ceases to blow my mind that people believe this garbage. As it transpires, because Darwinism is completely bankrupt, neo-Darwinists proposed the theory of panspermia, which is the belief that DNA landed on Earth, perhaps from cosmic dust, meteoroids, asteroids, or comets, and then life evolved from the DNA. Interestingly, Francis Crick, who discovered the DNA double helix structure in 1953, together with James Watson, and who was apparently high on LSD at the time, proposed directed panspermia. He suggested that life on Earth wasn't spontaneous, but deliberately seeded by an advanced ET civilization using spaceships to send microorganisms to new planets. The theory of evolution suggests that aliens are more evolved than us. And interestingly, Dick Dawkins, the world's most famous atheist, who rejects intelligent design, is open to the idea that aliens created us.
Well, then who did create the heavens and the earth?
Why do you use the word who? You see, you immediately beg the question by using the word who.
Well, then how did it get created?
Well, by a very slow process.
Well, how did it start?
Nobody knows how it started. We know the kind of event that it must have been. We know the sort of event that must have happened for the origin of life.
And what was that?
It was the origin of the first self-replicating molecule.
Right, and how did that happen?
I told you we don't know.
So you have no idea how it started?
No, nor has anybody.
Nor has anyone else. What do you think is the possibility that intelligent design might turn out to be the answer to some issues in genetics or in evolution?
It could come about in the following way. It could be that at some earlier time, somewhere in the universe, a civilization evolved by probably some kind of Darwinian means to a very, very high level of technology and designed a form of life that they seeded onto perhaps this planet. Now, that is a possibility and an intriguing possibility. And I suppose it's possible that you might find evidence for that if you look at the details of biochemistry, molecular biology. You might find a signature of some sort of designer.
Wait a second. Richard Dawkins thought intelligent design might be a legitimate pursuit?
And that designer could well be a higher intelligence from elsewhere in the universe.
The Vatican are in cahoots with NASA, which was created by occultists like Jack Parsons, and they have several major astronomical observers, huge telescopes, including on Mount Arizona, which, according to the Apache Indians, is a stargate. UFOs regularly come and go through that place. It's purported the Vatican knows about ETs and UFOs, and it's alleged the Vatican has secret files on the reality of the alien presence. Like the UFO that crashed in Magenta, Italy, back in 1933, Apparently, Mussolini reported several crashed UFOs, and it appears the so-called Miracle of the Sun in Fatima back in 1917 was a UFO. People reported seeing a silver disc that cast multicolored lights. Monsignor Corrado Balducci, Vatican theologian and exorcist, said, "Believing the universe may contain alien life does not contradict a faith in God, and there is an alien presence on Earth now." He insisted there are millions of worlds that are inhabited, and he also believed humanity, who is made in the image of God, is the lowest in the category of the evolutionary scale. He asserted the entire human race is pathetically unevolved species in desperate need of cosmic intervention, not from God, but from evolved aliens to save us from ourselves. Balducci clarified that aliens are interdimensional and can walk through walls, communicate telepathically, and engage in what looks like magic to us, but it is only interdimensionality. Balducci also insisted that we must completely exclude that ETs have anything to do with evil or the devil. Yet Jacques Vallée, a highly respected UFO researcher who featured in Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind and who worked closely with Dr. J. Allen Hynek, who was Project Blue Book's consultant, highlights the striking similarities between modern UFO encounters and historical accounts of demons, spirits, and mythological creatures. Vallée views them as mysterious, manipulative, and paranormal because they influence human consciousness. He proposed his interdimensional hypothesis, suggesting that UFOs and aliens are not from outer space, but from other dimensions. Father Giuseppe Tanzella Nitti, a professor at the Vatican University, stated, "Very soon, we will not have to deny our Christian faith, but there is information coming from another world, and once it is confirmed, it is going to require a rereading of the Gospel as we know it." And Father Guy Consolmagno, Vatican astronomer, stated, "Contemporary societies may look to the aliens to be the saviours of humankind." Like Balducci, he asserted the aliens have souls, and he said the Catholic Church would baptise them. Like haunted Pope Francis, who relentlessly pushed ecumenism, said he would baptise aliens. Consolmagno concedes that discovering ET life wouldn't contradict religious faith, but would expand our understanding of God's creation. The Vatican's stance is that aliens are part of God's creation. They are our extraterrestrial brothers. Consolmagno's work focuses on bridging science and faith, viewing scientific discovery, even of aliens, as opportunities for deeper theological understanding. To cut to the chase then, the Vatican is at the forefront of the alien deception, and as I highlighted in a previous video, it's believed that Pope Leo XIV will be the Pope for disclosure. He will reveal what the Vatican knows about aliens. He will tell the truth about the reality of the ET presence, the non-human civilization that surrounds us, which is not to be confused with fallen angels and demons. And he will reconcile theology and science through a revised perception of consciousness. Respectively, the alien deception is couched in a mystical deception. The Vatican holds the secrets of consciousness and the subatomic nature of reality. Thus, God is absolute consciousness, and we are inseparable from God because we are consciousness. The New Age theology is panentheism, that is, God is in all things and everything is in God, but God transcends the universe. It's purported the Vatican is prepared to revise Christ's gospel with the alien gospel that states that aliens are our progenitors and our saviors. They seeded humanity, which is panspermia, and they sent various religious and philosophical figures over the millennia to guide us, which effectively detracts from the importance of Jesus. They'll guide us into the new age via our spiritual evolution and ascension. Thus, we can spiritually evolve and develop superpowers, which are known as siddhis in Hinduism, and which includes levitation, bilocation, clairvoyance, telepathy, and telekinesis. And we can equally get high on spiritual ecstasy. As Stephen Greer demonstrates, we can communicate telepathically with ETs through meditation and altered states of consciousness, which are close encounters of the fifth kind. And we can be possessed by them. To get back to the trailer then, it appears Emily Blunt is possessed by an alien, or rather a demon or fallen angel. She seems to be taken over, just as trance mediums are taken over and speak in foreign languages. We also see people's eyes change in colour, which also evidences possession, demonic possession. Possessed people can also acquire superhuman, supernatural powers, including extrasensory perception like telepathy, clairvoyance, and telekinesis, as well as levitation and bilocation. It appears the Vatican calls possession spiritual evolution. We hear about angelic superpowers in the Bible, like in Acts chapter 12, verses 5 through 11, which details Peter's escape from prison. When the angel of the Lord appeared to Peter and told him to get up, the chains supernaturally fell off of Peter's wrists, and the large iron gate leading to the city opened for them of its own accord. Clearly the angel has telekinesis, and then the angel vanished, evidencing his interdimensional nature. In the trailer, we also see a bloke standing in a field as a crop circle is being formed around him, which suggests that it is through the power of his mind, or rather the entity that he is possessed by. When people are delivered from demons, they lose their supernatural powers. Like when Paul cast a spirit of divination out of a slave girl, she lost her fortune-telling ability, which we read about in Acts chapter 16, verses 16 through 24. Crop circles, which are considered the signature of alien intelligence, are classified as close encounters of the second kind. Northern cardinal birds and deer are also a feature in the trailer. In folklore, cardinal birds are seen as messengers from the spirit world. They're a sign from a loved one who is passed on, which is an after-death communication, and they symbolize heavenly visitors, like ETs, messengers to the gods, or even the gods themselves in feathered forms. And they represent cardinals in the Catholic Church, those leading bishops in the Pope's inner circle who are clad in red. And there are several theories about the deer, like they constitute warning signs of the impending alien phenomenon. They indicate that something unnatural is happening. It's also speculated that aliens could take the form of deer, as aliens, or rather fallen angels, can shapeshift. They remind me of the deer that featured in the O'Bummers movie, Barry and Big Mike, Leave the World Behind, that came out in 2023, and which was another Baal production. One last point that is worth mentioning is that we're told in the Bible, in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 3, that in the end times, before Jesus returns and Antichrist is revealed, there will be a great falling away from the faith. Professed believers will abandon Christ, being deceived by false teachings. Like 1.4 billion Catholics could believe Pope Leo XIV's new alien gospel. It's a genuine tragedy that Catholics trust the papacy as opposed to relying on God's word. In summary, the normies wouldn't get deceived if they believed in God's word. The Bible doesn't tell us about different planets and solar systems, or evolution, or aliens, but rather we're told that God created the earth, the sun, the moon, and the stars, and he created us. Nothing evolved from pond scum. The alien deception relies on science falsely so-called. The Bible also tells us about angels and demons, and our enemy Satan, who rules this world and deceives unbelievers. As Steve Quayle, who has written extensively on giants, encapsulates, only the truth can prepare us for the lie that is coming, and the truth is found in God's Word.